Do you know what to do if you are in an accident whilst you're driving in Europe? Do you know who to call? Do you know what paperwork you need to fill out? For most of us, the answer is no. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers and hoping it never happened. Well, today I'm going to walk you through the process so that if, hopefully never, it happened, you don't panic and it doesn't make it any more stressful than it needs to be. Now, obviously, there are two types of accidents. There are the ones that don't require the emergency services, people just bump into the back of you or whatever, and then there's the one that obviously is a lot more serious. If you do require any of the emergency services, whether fire, ambulance or police, the number across the whole of Europe, including the UK, is 112. Dial that from anywhere and you'll be able to get through to an English speaker and they will be able to send you the appropriate help that you need. So we're going to be focusing on the less serious accident and what the paperwork is that you need to fill out for your insurance. So even though the UK is no longer in the EU, this is still valid paperwork. So every driver in the EU is required to carry one of these, the European Accident Form or European Accident Statement. They're both exactly the same thing. You can actually get these from your insurance company if you ask. I don't know how long it will take them to send you one, but you can also, as I have done, printed it off the internet, and I will leave the link in the notes for you that shows you exactly which website I used to get a copy of this. Honestly, if you're going to be traveling for a long time, I would have at least 4 copies just in case you're having a really bad trip, but at least that way you know that you're covered and you don't need to worry about getting them any more printed out whilst you are overseas. So what do you do if you actually have an accident? Well, first thing is make sure everybody is safe. So put your hazards on. If you've got one of the flashing V16 beacons, which again, I'll leave the link in the notes for you, even if they're not legally required, they are such a good idea for drawing attention to the people who are coming at you up the road. So put one of them on. If you don't have one of them, you need to put out your little warning light. If you get out your vehicle, which you will, make sure you've got your high visibility jacket on, and indeed make sure everybody who is out the vehicle has got their high vis jacket on. Make sure all passengers are safely out of the way, and then you can start dealing with the actual accident itself. Obviously, if it's more serious, you'll have called 112. But as I said, we're focusing on the non-serious accidents for this. If you haven't already, take lots of photos of your vehicle, especially with the registration number in place, and also their vehicle with their registration number, and indeed any damage that has been caused. The other thing I would recommend you do is open up a Maps app on your phone, whether it's Google Maps or Apple Maps, it doesn't matter, and taking a screenshot of your exact location. Now, it might be worth zooming out enough so that you can see relevant towns, the road name, the exact junction you're on, anything like that, so that you can pinpoint exactly where the accident happened. So then it's time to fill out this form. Now, obviously they will fill out their form in their language, you will fill out this form in English. The boxes all match up, so you fill out yours, they will fill out theirs, and then both people have to sign both forms. So on the front here, it's got vehicle A, your vehicle, and it's got all the information about the vehicle, about the driver, about the point of impact. It's basically a little map so you can point what it is, any visible damage, any remarks. And then of course you've got vehicle B. If there are more than 2 vehicles involved in the accident, you need at least one of these for each vehicle that you are involved with. So if you're in a pile up, you would only deal with the vehicle in front of you and the vehicle behind you, but you'd need a different accident form for each one, and you'd have to deal with each driver individually. But then, yeah, you go through it, you look at the information. So for vehicle A, perhaps you hit the front, so vehicle B was hit at the back, however you want to work it. And then, of course, you go down through the back as well, which has got things like your occupation, the owner, the purpose of the vehicle, what it was used for, more detail about anyone who was injured, any damage to the vehicles or any property, the police were involved, the date, the weather conditions, all of that stuff. And then, of course, you have to sign it. And both drivers sign both forms. There is only one signature box. This can get really confusing, but you're both supposed to sign the form. Now, obviously, if you're using a proper insurance copy, it'd be a triplicate. So you would take one, they would take one. Or if you've got different languages, take photos of both sides. If you're doing yours in English, you will need to fill out 2 copies. So they have one of the English ones and you will take one of the foreign language ones. However, If you do not agree with what they are saying, if you don't agree that, the front of their car has fallen off or whatever it is, then you do not sign. Don't sign it at all, because signing means that you agree with what has been written. If you think that they have written something that isn't correct, use the Google Translate app on your phone, turn it to camera mode, and you can point it at their form and it will translate what they have written for you. So you can be very sure about what you are signing. Then, of course, you go back to your vehicle and you have to contact your insurer. They will most likely ask you for photographs of the accident form, and they will give you some sort of email address that you can send the photographs to. If they ask you for the original, I would wait until you're back in the UK so that you can actually make sure it's tracked mail. And I would also make sure you take very clear photos of exactly what you're sending them. But if your vehicle is damaged and you have to stay in Europe for a while to get it fixed, they're going to need to work on that a lot quicker. So normally most of them will take some sort of photograph. Now, of course, that's just one of many documents that you need to travel with you when you are going across into the EU. If you want a full list of that, I will leave the free checklist below in the notes for you to download. And if you want to know more about touring around the UK and Europe in your motorhome, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Talking about motorhoming around Europe, if you are heading off, you'll find this video very useful, and I'll see you there. Take care. Bye.